Hey everyone, Craig Oldfield from Ridin'Alberta here. I'm here with the Kove 800x Pro. This is my 5,000 kilometer review on this bike. I was fortunate enough that Kove Moto Canada gave me this bike to demo for the summer season, and I put about 5,000 kilometers on this bike. So I'm going to go over the bike head to toe. I'm going to go over my pros and cons with this bike and my overall thoughts on this motorcycle and who I think would really benefit from buying the Kove 800x Pro. So let's just jump right into it.
So starting up front, we've got the 21-inch spoked wheel wrapped in the Pirelli Scorpion STR tire. It's backed up by two huge dual disc brakes that deliver really great stopping power. Center of the cockpit is anchored by a 7-inch TFT display. Gives you everything you need to know. It's got the tach, the speedo, fuel gauge, and it's really easy to navigate. From there, you can access the electronics package, including selectable rider modes, traction control, and you have the ability to turn off front or rear ABS. The fuel range of this bike is another big win. With a 20-liter tank, it gets easily over 400 kilometers. I was getting closer to 450 kilometers thanks to an average of about 4.3 liters per 100 kilometers. Power comes from the 790cc parallel twin, which is an absolute beast. This bike gives you 94 horsepower, 60 foot-pounds of torque, and it's all sent to the rear wheel through a very smooth 6-speed gearbox and a traditional chain drive. Out back, you've got the 18-inch spoked wheel. It gives you great traction, and there are tons of option in these wheel sizes to get aftermarket off-road tires. Another great thing about the Kove is it comes really well equipped from the factory. It's 2-up seat, rear luggage rack, engine guards, and the skid plate, all factory installed. Finishing it off, we've got the LED headlights and turn signals. They not only look great, but they offer really good visibility during evening riding and make your braking and turns much more noticeable for other motorists. I'm not going to bore you with every number and spec on this bike, but if you want to dive deeper, there's a link below to the Kove website where you can find all those details. So here are my cons list, but before getting into my cons, I want to be clear that I'm not talking about logistical or speculative concerns like dealer networks or long-term reliability. Kove Moto Canada is right here in central Alberta, so support has not been an issue for me, and after 5,000 kilometers on this bike, reliability and ownership costs have not been an issue as well. So my first real con with this bike, and something that a lot of other reviewers have talked about, is the throttle and ECU mapping from the factory. Throttle response, especially in lower gears, is very snatchy, but after doing the ECU flash, the bike became much smoother and more controllable in slow and technical riding, and likely I'll throw a throttle tamer on to refine this even more. Next is the suspension setup out of the box. It's very capable. The suspension is very good on this bike, but it does require some dialing in depending on your weight and riding style. Stock settings are very stiff with a noticeable amount of rebound in the rear, but the good news is it's fully adjustable and can be set to suit you really well. And lastly, a small but very noticeable detail, the side stand is just a little bit too long, which causes the bike to sit very upright on level ground. It can be tricky when you're parking off-road or on uneven terrain, so you need to be paying attention to side slope. And it's not a deal breaker by any means, but it's something to be aware of. So on to the pros with the Kove 800x. The biggest standout for me is the low weight and the power to weight ratio. Just over 410 pounds wet, 94 horsepower, 60 foot-pounds of torque. This thing is exhilarating to ride. The low weight really is the key selling point for me, and honestly, it's something that many of us in the ADV world have been asking for in a true midsize ADV bike for a very long time. So to put this into perspective, bikes like the KTM 790 sit at around 440 pounds. The T7 and Touareg about 450, Transalp around 460, and bikes like the V-Strom 800 and Ibex 800 push well over 500 pounds. So this is a huge deal for me, especially when I'm only 5'7" and I ride solo a lot. Another big plus is the bike's true rally racing DNA that it was built off of. This is not the average ADV bike, and the design isn't either. Between the adjustable suspension, the wheel and tire sizes, the strong power delivery, and selectable rider aids, the 800 easily handles any terrain you want to throw at it. Lastly, another huge pro for me is something that's a little bit harder to see on a spec sheet, but this bike has genuinely brought the excitement back into my riding. Knowing that this bike has the capability to take me on just about any road I pointed at, I stopped worrying about where I couldn't go and started focusing on where I wanted to go. Simply, this bike has brought the fun factor back into my riding. So what rider is this bike built for? If you're that rider that's looking for something with a lot of power, super lightweight, outstanding handling on and off road, and a complete blast to ride, then I would highly suggest you take a test ride on the Kove 800. For more demo info in Alberta, especially follow my socials and check out Kove Moto Canada.
Again, huge shout out to Kove Moto Canada for giving me the opportunity to demo this bike this summer. Since doing the demo and doing all these videos, I've made the decision to actually go ahead and purchase this bike, which says a lot. I've rode quite a few motorcycles this last year, and I'm going to make the Kove 800x Pro my primary motorcycle next season. Also, if you've got any questions or anything I didn't go over that you'd like to know about, go ahead and drop your questions and comments in the comment section in this video. If you liked this content, if you liked the review, also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and on my website. You can find all the links in the description below. So that's all I got for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.